Okay, so going back to the topic at hand, we've got gluten, and I made a mention about the difference between gluten and true gluten-free, and then FODMAPs as a category, nightshades, particularly potato, can create leaky gut for many people. Dairy, the lactose, and for many that are lactose intolerant, can create a lot of the gas and the bloating. The quinoa can create gastrointestinal inflammation. The carrageenan gum is another one that can create gastrointestinal inflammation. And then the category of beans or legumes as a whole, for many people, creates a lot of distress because they're very, very hard to digest. Now, one more category I wanted to make sure I brought up tonight, because this again comes in all the time, and that's the category of seeds. Seeds are, predominantly seeds. Grains in and of themselves are seeds. So if we think about what grain is, grain in gluten, those are the seeds of grass, right? So generally seeds like chia and flax and sunflower seed, and a lot of people will take ground seed meal and other things, and they'll use that as a staple in their diet. And that, again, it's another one of those things that can be really hard to digest. Seeds contain sensory proteins. Sensory proteins are basically proteins within seeds that are designed to protect the seeds from predators eating them into extinction. So if you are consuming vast quantities of seeds and still struggling with gastric distress, and I've seen this, most commonly I see it when people are doing like smoothies and they're adding tons of chia or they're adding tons of flax, and they're still struggling with that gastric distress. Now, I'm not saying that you can never eat seeds like chia or flax, and I'm not saying that you could never eat beans, but this is a lot of times it's a case-by-case basis. If you're overcoming years of intestinal damage as a result of gluten exposure, these are things that too many people keep in their diet initially in mass. They keep them in their diet in large quantities, and doing so kind of basically it sabotages their success. It sabotages their ability to recover because they're still eating things that are hard to digest. And going back to what I said earlier, if you're eating food that's hard to digest and your gut's already not working with full capacity, that will delay your progress, that will delay your healing, and that will contribute to a number of different problems. So again, you have to look at it from that perspective. So the beans, the seeds, the FODMAPs, nightshades, dairy, the quinoa, the gums, very, very common. Now, I mentioned medicine up here earlier, and this is another big issue. Even though medicine's not classified as a food, many people are on medicine because they choose the wrong food. And so when you're choosing the wrong food and you've been put on a medication, and one of the things that I've seen really quite common is high blood pressure meds. People that are gluten sensitive can develop high blood pressure. I see it all the time, and then they get put on high blood pressure med. And one of the blood pressure meds, called olmesartan, actually has been shown to cause celiac disease. It's been shown to cause villus atrophy, and so a lot of people don't realize that. And many of you may not even have a known gluten issue, but your doctor put you on this particular drug to lower your blood pressure, and it can actually create villus atrophy. And this actually was, I think, originally discovered at Mayo Clinic. There was a study published a number of years ago, 7 or 8 years ago, easy. And so you want to understand that many of the medications that we take, and I did an entire show on this as well, where we talked about the different medications that can cause gut dysfunction and leaky gut. You've got to address the foods, then you've got to look at the medicines and work with your doctor to wean them down, to titrate them down so that you can really fully stabilize the gut. Once that happens, and you're feeling better and vibrant and energetic, and your diet and your lifestyle is really dialed in, now you can start taking a look at some of these groupings and say, okay, am I still reactive to these things because I'm always going to be, or am I reacting, or am I not reactive to them anymore because I've restored my resiliency and my health and my GI capacity for breaking food down? Hey, and if you missed the earlier part of this series, click right here so you can go back and get caught up. The information there might be critical to helping you on your path to better health. And as always, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe for updates below. Have a great day.